Well, we're here with the finale for the entire show, episode 9 of season 4, Farewell. We'll see. Do we think they're going to actually kill somebody? I don't think so.
Emergency protocol deactivated. All assets released for reintegration.
This is like the animals being released from containment back into the wild now that the fire has died down, right? So kind of leading into the end scene of Dominion where we see Rexy and the Isla Sorna T-Rexes meet up outside. You know, confirming that the valley remains populated by dinosaurs after the events of the film.
Ben, you gotta wake up.
Yep. We end episode 8 on a Ben dies and goes to heaven type hallucination, right? And then the immediate start of the next episode is him waking back up, not dead. This is a very like mid-season break TV moment, you know, of like ending a season or a mid-season hiatus, starting a mid-season hiatus on a moment where a character is seemingly dying and maybe is dead, and then just immediately being like, nah, we still want them around. They're not dead. A TV trope I'm not a huge fan of. I've complained about this previously. This whole plot line, by the way, is still interesting and good. I still appreciate the drama here of trying to save Ben. I just could have done without, you know, the whole hallucination, tropey dying angle from the very end of the previous episode. That's all. I suppose we can also talk about here about the idea of this season redeeming the Giga. It hasn't. He still doesn't do anything and then just dies. He dies off screen in the show too, because he dies, you know, on screen in Dominion. Like he had, what do we have for the Giga? We had like the intro sequence when the Rex is released, and then we had like what, 1 Giga action sequence of them like the Giga attacking the campers. Not particularly good. The show overall redeemed the Atrociraptors really nicely, but yeah, it hasn't done anything to save the Giga in my mind.
I'm not going with you.
Don't say that, okay?
And Gia, our mug of pasta.
Ian, what do you mean?
Gia's car. We can save him.
There's the
Where
out.
is it?
Another decent reincorporation of an element that you could predict, but also just hasn't been on our mind for a long time because a lot has happened since they arrived at the start of the season in the car. Pretty decent plotting. There's been a few good instances of this kind of thing, of elements that are relatively small so they don't stick in your mind that come into play later in this season. It's pretty good.
Come on.
He just goes. Well, he is the climber. Oh, is it the yellow one? This is the yellow one. I wasn't sure if this thing would come back. Fun. That's just straight up blood. That's not just like discoloration of the cloth. That is, because before we had this like this bit up here kind of with like this darker shadow implying blood. This is just bro bleeding out. I'm genuinely surprised with how much the show has in general pulled away from showing any blood, that even in this situation they could do some. You know, maybe they're let off the leash slightly for the finale. Uh-oh. Calling in the boys!
Just hang on a little longer.
Literally sitting on a giant pile of free meat, which also would be bleeding. Why are they so... Why do they want Ben? Why do they want a little morsel it'll be enough to feed the pack, but like you get more food even if you eat the Giga. They realistically here, if anything, it should be like a food protection instinct of like seeing the humans as competitors for the Giga carcass and the Atrocities just, you know, threat display to get them to back off, which would be more interesting actually. But of course, we got to have the carnivores be murder machines.
Get Ben!
He's in. Get us out of here. Hold on to your butts.
Nah, still a bit of fire. Waiting for Darius to fall out. Uh-oh. Rex coming now. Nobody wants to eat that Giga? What, does it taste bad? I guess it wouldn't be a Jurassic property without it ending with the Rex saving somebody from another dinosaur threat. Ooh. I can appreciate a little bit the direct throwback to like Raptors versus Rex from the first movie. It's a little bit fan servicey. I mean, not a little bit. It's extremely fan servicey. But it's kind of a fun riff since this time it's Atrociraptors. And I guess, I mean, this kind of ties in with them being stupidly aggressive, as we saw with the, you know, the Giga carcass and everything. Not, you know, just being happy with what they already have. I'm sorry. Are we gonna have Rexy also get her ass beat by Atrociraptors? Are we gonna continue the trope of her like never winning a fight on her own or whatever? Oh man. Okay. Like how would Atrociraptors even stand a remote chance against a Rex? Like, no. What? Also, all 5 of these are still alive. One of these was in the Rex's mouth and should be a thin paste at this point. So yes, we are continuing the trope where Rexy can never win a fight on her own. Sometime between the start of this season, when we had the Rexy delivery, and now the Sornorexes have gotten here, I'm still very confused about that timeline. Weird. I mean, obviously they get to the valley at some point because they're there at the end of the movie. But I always took that as being like a you know, a few months later type thing or something. Like, you know, government entities were still using the valley as a dinosaur drop-off point, and so the other Rexes ended up there or something. Maybe. No, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't think Dodgson's dialogue at the start of the season was like, hey, we have the Rex from Jurassic World. It was like, hey, we have a T-Rex now. Right? Also, this kind of plays weirdly with the final scene of Dominion, because now the Rexes are meeting. Like, why, if the Rexes meet up here, why are they meeting up again later at the river? I mean, maybe you can reinterpret the scene at the end of Dominion to not be like the first time all 3 Rexes have met each other or something, but that's how the intent of that scene felt in Dominion. It felt like it was supposed to be the first time those animals had met each other. She's never gonna let anybody borrow her car ever again, Gia. Also, those all looked like they were just the exact same T-Rex model copied 3 times, right? Nothing particularly unique for Buck and Doe or anything from Sorna. Expected for this show, and they couldn't even bother getting rid of a claw off the Theory model. They have a very limited budget, of course, for unique models and new models, which is a little to the show's detriment, you know? A little bit more, you know, they spared some expense.
Hey, it's an emergency!
He needs help!
Someone should be there when he,
I can only fit one of you.
You go, Kench.
Injured dinosaurs in there. Does anybody have hands-on experience? No?
We know that look.
Yeah, we do.
They need us, but
He would want us to help. Maybe
I like
this is
this. The idea that, you know, these remaining characters would help to, like, kind
it
of
for Ben.
secure the valley, like, to save the dinosaurs that are still there. This is good. It gives the characters a place in the world, you know, going forward. It's also fun because it keeps these characters in the picture for the franchise. Like, this gives them a place to be, even if they don't get any more direct stories. Like, theoretically, if we ever went back to Biosyn Valley in a game or a game DLC or a movie or a subsequent show that's not like a direct sequel to this, they could still bring back a few of these characters as being like stewards of the valley or something here, right? This isn't necessarily saying these characters are committing to like staying in the valley here, right? They could be here for 2 days and then leave and go about their lives. But either way, it's still like you know, there's still a connection to this place with these characters now, and that's good. That's good world building. Unlike, you know, Rebirth, which just unbuilds the world. Probably onto a coda now, kind of where the franchise is leaving the state of the world, which will be fun.
Thanks for picking me up from the airport, Kench.
Yeah, so I mean, also, you know, maybe I was a little premature talking about the future for these characters when there was, you know, like 5 minutes left in the episode. And now we're, you know, in a different scene in a different time. But my point still stands, you know. Leaving these characters with a connection to Bios and Valley, I think is good.
I was gonna come back from Bios and Valley with the others, but then Matt put me in charge of a whole team, so I couldn't.
What did I say?
Oh.
The king has returned to his castle.
Hey, nice of you to join us, dude. Thank you for letting us crash here while we work with Henry.
Huh. First name basis with Dr. Wu, huh?
Ooh.
Oh, hey, how'd your agricultural support group go?
Great. Who knew there were so many farmers around the country that were affected by giant, creepy locusts determined to destroy the planet?
I also think that's kind of fun to keep them in contact with Wu. I wasn't expecting or suspecting that angle at all. I can appreciate that.
I thought I heard voices.
Also, it'd be nice if the franchise did use some of these characters again at some point. Like, I really don't like how, not just, you know, Jurassic Park, but a lot of other kind of franchises with, you know, tie-in TV shows, movie franchises with tie-in TV shows, really seem really hesitant to ever put any significant connective tissue between the movies and the shows. And that's true of Chaos Theory and Confrontations as well. Of course, we get the tie-ins with Dodgson, like the brain control chips and like the Barbasol can. These are really minor, small details. Like, there's no reason you couldn't take, you know, any one of these characters or even a few of them, put them into a movie and have it work. You don't need to explain. You don't need to make it so that anybody has to have seen the show. You can throw in a couple of lines to explain the characters for anybody who didn't watch the show. Oh yeah, this is Darius. He's our dinosaur guy. He was actually, you know, marooned at Jurassic World and stuck there for a couple of years before he was rescued. Blah 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 blah. Done. Then that establishes what the concept of the character is for anybody who hasn't watched the shows, but for anybody who's watched the shows, they get a fun, nice tie-in. I don't know why these large movie franchises tend to not do that as much. Kind of makes me think back to like the older like Netflix Marvel shows, some of the older Star Wars stuff, although Star Wars is now integrating more. Like there's kind of, I guess, like a trend more towards shows and movies crossing over more these days, but Jurassic's kind of lagging behind in that area, I think.
Here you go.
The baby. Yeah. Also worth the comment that the undertone of this entire sequence here, this whole like coda time skip thing, the one character we haven't seen is Ben. So they're again doing that trope of like, did the character die? Did the character survive? Nobody in the scene's going to acknowledge it. And then at some point he'll just like walk out of a room or whatever. And it's again very like tropey.
Oh, get this. They want to come back to Bios and Valley with me. Help us with the rebuild. Well, that's what they
Okay,
said.
so the characters are staying linked to the
Out of
valley.
their sight.
I think it would be really fun, like 10 years down the road, like 10 years in the timeline, you know, from the end of Dominion or whatever, something like that, 10, 15 years, to come back to Bios and Valley and see, like, you know, the fallout of that, and maybe meet a few of these characters when they're a bit older, new versions of them essentially in like live action. I think it's just a missed opportunity for the franchise to do a little bit more, you know? Finally. All right. So I guess it's got to be just like a few months after, and he's been, I don't know, in the hospital still or something, because he's still clearly somewhat injured. Like, I'm not exactly sure what the timeline here is supposed to be necessarily.
These are all his medications. And please, remind him to visit that new heart specialist.
Benjamin! Dude, you died and you didn't tell us. It was only for, like, a second.
This is, of course, just your reminder that all of those dinosaurs died. in the lead up to Jurassic World Rebirth. Yeah, not much in that finale as far as like real meaty content goes. You know, we got another action scene. We got to see the other Rexes. Really just like an episode about getting, you know, Ben finally out of the valley, and then seeing kind of more the state of these characters. I can understand them not doing much to set up any, you know, future state of the world type stuff, given, you know, the shadow that is Rebirth hanging over everything. And also probably just the open questions of where does the franchise go after Rebirth. So they definitely need to tread a very thin line of like concluding, you know, the stories from this show and not, you know, playing into anything in the future because of probably general uncertainty of like where the franchise is going to end up going after Rebirth. So I'm yeah, I mean it was a fine enough finale. This is not a blowing my socks off finale, but it's perfectly fine, perfectly in line with the rest of the season. So yeah, all right. Well, that's the whole show. My recap, my overall feelings on season 4. I think it is still a high point for the show. This and the first season, better than anything in Camp Cretaceous, I think. Yeah, I think if I have any bigger complaint here, it's just how much of the show feels like it's kind of penned in by the movies a little bit. And I mean, it's secondary to the movies, so it's never going to escape that. That just is what it is. All right, well, I guess we'll leave it here until next time.